Yo, what's good everyone? It's Swifties, and for today's video, we're going to be doing the CDL 2022 power rankings before Major 1. It's currently 8:22 in the morning. The major starts in a couple of hours. So I'm just going to get this out the way before the major starts. Just to throw out some content. I'm going to upload this around like 1 p.m. Maybe later, I don't know. But yeah, we're going to go from left to right. Starting off from left, Atlanta FaZe. Boom. Reigning world champs. They're currently 5-0 this stage. Simp tweeted out he's looking pretty good on the map. Not unfortunately, but unfortunately. Simp has actually been looking like the worst player on this team, surprisingly. And yeah, if Simp is playing at his best, then this team is a real problem. You know, he's not even playing good and they're 5-0. So imagine with all of them playing at their full potential, this team is unstoppable. There's nobody beating this team. Reigning world champs, 5-0. Nothing really much more to be explained. Their map count's like 15-5. That means like they lose one map every series. It's like, come on, bro. Boston Breach. I'd say C tier. I would have them in B tier, but after their loss to the Subliners, I feel like they're a C tier team. They shouldn't have lost to the Subliners. The Subliners should be 0-5 this stage. They're 0-9 in Hardpoint, the Subliners. There's no reason how Boston didn't win that, you know. It's like, come on now. There's just, you know, I just don't get it. But speaking of positives about Boston, let me not drag them in the mud too much. This team's actually pretty in Search and Destroy, or at least was for the most part. They were 4-0, but they lost the last 3 searches. They have some really good rookies on this team. You know, they have Capsule, who is by far their best player on their team. And then they have Nero, and then they have TJ Helly and Methods. Methods and TJ Helly, you could get a lot out of them, but they haven't really been playing like to their peak. At their peak, I feel like they're like a top B, bottom A team. But as of right now, I have them C tier. I'm pretty sure nobody else will really argue with that. Maybe some people will put them B tier, but I have them C tier for now. Moving on, we have LAG. LAG, I feel like is a solidified B tier team. They're really good in Hardpoint, but they're kind of bad in every other game mode. What is their record right now? They're 2-3, unfortunately. But nonetheless, I feel like this team has some really good potential. You know, with the veterans you have on the squad, with Slasher, Gunless, and you know, you got the, I guess you wouldn't really call them veterans, but you got the young guns and Hook and Asim, you know, the SMG duo who can, at their peak, I feel like this team could be an A tier, maybe bridging S, but as of right now, they're a B tier team. They've been kind of underperforming. I'm kind of surprised this team isn't better in Search and Destroy, because this team, you know, with Slasher, Gunless, Hook, you would expect these guys, you know, being with their experience, to be really good in Search, but they're not even good there, and you know, they're not even that good in Control either. They're only really good in Hardpoint, but still, I feel like this team is overall pretty solid. I feel like at any given day they could be the A tier team or S tier team, you know, and maybe not S, but I feel like at any given day they could be the A tier team. But for now, from what I'm currently seeing, I'm putting them in B. Florida Mutineers. You see, now this team is tricky because they're either 3-0 smoking a team or they're getting 3-0'd. And it's like, I don't even know where you would put these guys, man. I feel like C or B, but I just can't really choose which one. I don't think, are they really on par with LAG? They have to be like top of C, bottom of B. Yeah, I think I'm gonna put on top of C. At the top of C. I don't feel like I feel like if they were to play LAG, I'd favor LAG. So I'll put them top of C. Florida, I mean, the same thing as last year. They're just so hard to predict. You don't know what they're gonna come out and do. They can either come out and just absolutely sweep the floor with teams, or they just get swept, and it's like you don't really know. But recently I feel like they've been getting swept a lot more than the sweeping they've been doing. So I feel like for that, I'll have them in C tier. LA Thieves, this is an A tier team. This is without a doubt an A tier team. Some people would have them S. I have them A. I feel like the only time I put a team in S, or this team in S, is if they beat FaZe. But as of right now, I have them in A tier. These guys are going to be a serious problem this major, bro. Guarantee it. I feel like they're going to get a top 4, top 2, top 3. Without a doubt in my mind. They have some really good talent on this team. You know, they got Draza, Envoy, Kenny, Octane. You know, Kenny, the gunny on that man is unbelievable. Octane, the human turret. Envoy, the route man, and then Draza, he's so flexible as a player. Kenny and Draza are both such flexible players. Remember last year, Draza was able to run a Krig, he was able to run a sub, like the man could run it all. And he could do it at a high level. I feel like this team is a pretty good problem. I know they're really good at Gav, Hardpoint. They're really good at Hardpoint in general. They're like the #1 Hardpoint team. Every other game mode is like average to above average, but I feel like with their chemistry and their comms, I feel like this team can really be a problem at this major. Can they beat Atlanta FaZe? That's the only thing. Like, I feel like the only way they can beat Atlanta FaZe is if FaZe isn't playing at their best. But I don't know. If Simpa said he's been looking really good, and if Sim's playing good, then the whole team should be playing pretty good, which means they shouldn't really be able to beat FaZe. But I feel like the series will be close. Maybe like game 5, because you know LAT is a really good hardpoint team. But yeah, I have them A tier now. London Royal Ravens. I feel like this team is either top of B or bottom of A. I think I'm gonna have them like bottom of A. This team is 4-1 right now. The only team they lost to is LAG. They've played, I think you can say, the most. They didn't play the most comp. Let me not talk out of my ass here. But this team has been playing really well. You could tell the confidence and the chemistry on this team is just absolutely amazing. These boys know what the hell they're doing. And I feel like at the LAN, LAN is the only real issue though, because these guys are all young, and you know, with the matches they're gonna be playing, they're more so like the crowd's gonna be against them for the most part. And it all comes down to mental. How will can these guys step it up in those high pressure moments? When you know the crowd is against them and stuff like that, can they really step up and show that they're a top tier team? I feel like the London Royal Ravens really do have a lot of proving to prove. They really have a lot to prove going into this major. I feel like for right now though, they are a bottom of A tier team right now. Minnesota Rocker, I'm putting these guys in B tier. These guys had the hardest schedule without a doubt. They played all the top teams. I mean, feels bad for these guys, man. I feel like they deserve a lot of respect though. These guys, even though, you know, watching them gives me heart attacks, you know, majority of the times they're going to game 5s. They're kind of like a one respawn team. They more so rely on the searches, but I still feel like this team could be a serious problem at this major. We all know what they did major 5 with that reverse sweep, the greatest reverse sweep in COD history. I feel like these guys could be a real big problem. I'm gonna actually put them above LEG. Yeah, I'm gonna put them above LEG. New York Submarines, I'm putting this team in D tier. I mean, they're 1-4. They only beat Breach, but like, even then, it's like there's nothing to really look forward to for this team. They're 1-9 in hardpoint. None of their other game modes are really looking pretty good. I won't be surprised if this team just comes out and just gets absolutely fucking demolished at this major. Same thing with Paris. I mean, let's be real here. These teams are both shit. I mean, nothing really much more to say there. And then Seattle Surge. Seattle Surge. If it wasn't for Accuracy's Ice, they would be 1-4. But nonetheless, with their performance at LAN, I feel like they're a top of B tier team still. They're definitely not C tier. Hell no. I'd have them top of B. I feel like they could beat any of these teams here. Yeah, I feel like this is a good spot. I don't know how I feel about LAG bottom of B. This is pretty hard. I'm gonna keep it like this. I'm gonna keep it like this. Optic Texas, I'm having A tier above the Ravens. This team started off slow, but I feel like a slow start is what they really needed, so that way they realize what they're doing wrong and they can work on it. But these guys have been looking pretty nasty right now, bro. They 3-0 Toronto. They won their last 3 games pretty handily, truth be told. I feel like this team once again is going to be a real problem coming into this major. You know, Illy, Shotzi, Scump, and Dashi, they're all absolutely phenomenal players. They can be an S tier team. They're a team that I feel like can beat FaZe. But it's just like, for some reason, this team, despite the potential, they do tend to underperform sometimes, and we've seen that a lot last year. They underperformed pretty heavily last year. They're the only team within the top range that didn't attend a major finals. And you know, it just, if they can perform pretty good at LAN, I'd have them like top of A, maybe S. But right now, I have them A tier. We just got to see how they do on this LAN to determine whether or not they're an S tier team, because they can honestly come out and just get smoked by Seattle. Because that's what would happen. You know, they would look good going into a stage, like into a majors, but then they would get shit on, and that's what happened. And that's what happened majority of last year, and let's see if that'll happen again this year. And then last but not least, we have Toronto Ultra. I'm pulling these guys bottom of A. They haven't really been playing so good, but Toronto's a team that has great resilience. Despite all the things they've been through, I feel like they can still perform at like an S tier level. Like when they got reverse sweep that major 5. If that was me, I wouldn't have gained composure. That shit would have been in my mind, go and get the champs. But they regained and they got top 2. This team has some great resilience. These guys have some of the best mental. I think out of all these teams, Toronto Ultra has the best mental. Probably some of the best fundamental Call of Duty. But right now they haven't really been showing it. They got 3-0'd by Optic. But I feel like at the major, this team is going to be a real problem. But based off of the performance, I feel like I have these guys bottom of A right now. And yeah, these are my power rankings going into 2022. I say overall, pretty solid list. I don't really think anybody would really disagree on anything. But yeah, these are my CDL 2022 power rankings. If you enjoyed this video and if you want more of these power ranking style videos, then please be sure to leave a like and subscribe. I plan on doing a lot more tier lists in the future. And yeah, it's been Swifties, and I'm out. Peace.